Welcome to Lesson 2.1c on the present progressive, which deals with both regular and irregular gerunds. Before starting this lesson, it's important to know some vocabulary terms that are going to be mentioned often within this lesson. The first term is an auxiliary verb. That's also known as a helping verb. It's a non-action verb such as am, is, are, has, and have. Then we're going to have the term action verb. And an action verb is a verb that shows action, or something that can be physically done. The third term we're going to have is a gerund. And the gerund is when you turn a verb into its ing form. So if we look at the sentence, we are watching a scary movie. Are is our auxiliary verb. Watching, or to watch, is our action verb. And because we made watch end with ing, the ing part is the gerund. So the present progressive indicates an action that is currently in progress. It is actively happening in the moment. That's why it's progressive. It's in progress. To create the present progressive, you have to use an auxiliary verb and an action verb in conjunction with one another. We are talking on the phone. They are playing soccer outside. I am studying. Notice that there's the auxiliary verb are, am. And then the action verb is in its gerund form, which ends in ing, talking, playing, studying. So to conjugate, we also need two parts for the conjugation. The first part being the auxiliary verb, estar. We use the present tense of estar, estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. And then the second part is where we take the action verb and turn it into the gerund. Now, our action verbs can end in AR, ER, or IR. If it ends in AR, we drop the AR and replace it with ando. If it's an ER-IR verb, we drop the ER-IR and replace it with yendo. Now, while there is a past tense version, it's generally not used. There's an additional verb tense that's used instead of the past progressive. So we're really only going to ever learn the present progressive. There are some special circumstances when dealing with your action verb. No matter what, we will always start with the form of estar. But if the action verb happens to be a reflexive, meaning it ends in se, we still have to manipulate that se. And that se will turn to me te se, no so se. But now it's going to attach to the end of the gerund, and as opposed to going in front. It's going to attach to the gerund, and when we do that, the gerund is going to require an accent. So it's going to be like ando se, yendo se, with the accent over the A in ando or the E in yendo. Now, the se could be a me or a te or a nos attached to the end as well. Stem changers are the other circumstance that we have to look out for. In the gerund form, most stem changers don't happen. Most stem changers like pensar and poder and almorzar, they do not vowel change. They just drop their AR, ER, IR, and they get their gerund ending. But if the stem changer happens to be an IR verb, it will undergo a vowel change in the gerund form. There's only two types of vowel changes that we can have in the gerund, E to I and O to U. So, if we look at the box over here to the left, here are the most common E to I and O to U stem changers that will qualify to change in the gerund form. Divertirse, preferir, pedir, servir, sentirse, vestirse, venir. Those E's closest to the ending will turn to I's. And then you'll add yendo. Dormir and morir are the only O to U stem changing verbs, and their O will turn to a U, and then we add yendo. So let's look at how this would actually play out on a quiz. You're only going to see the action verb in parentheses. You have to remember to add the estar in front. So number 1 becomes yo estoy estudiando. Number 2, tú estás comiendo la pizza. 3, nosotros estamos compartiendo un batido. 4, yo estoy lavándome las manos. Notice I had to attach me to the end of the gerund because it was in the yo form. I manipulated the se, turned it to me, and attached it and added my accent mark. Number 5, Tú estás despertándose temprano. A mistake there, and that number 5 should be tú estás despertándote temprano. The se had to become te because it was in the to form, but it did attach to the end, and we needed to add our accent mark to ando. And then number 6, ellos están durmiendo en clase. This was an example of one of our stem changers. We knew that it was a stem changer by looking at it, dormir. It ended in IR, so therefore it qualified to undergo a stem change, O to U. Okay, for watching this lesson, all you have to do is indicate that you know the name of my chinchilla. And her name is Xena, but you spell it Xena. See you in class.